Good morning everyone. Today let's have the revision of first two chapters and let's start with the first chapter, Evolution of Computers. In this chapter, first we have discussed the early calculating devices. There are 5 early calculating devices such as abacus, Napier's bonds, Pascaline, difference engine and analytical engine. First let's discuss what is abacus. The Chinese developed the abacus for the counting large numbers. It was made up of a wooden frame with rods, and the abacus is known as the first calculating device. It was also used to perform basic calculations such as addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. And the second one is called Napier's bond. Napier's bond was invented by John Napier in 1617. It consists of a rectangular rod made up of bone, ivory, wood or metal. It can be used for multiplication. And the third calculating device is called Pascaline. The Pascaline calculator was developed by Blaise Pascal in 1642. It was a rectangular box. Numbers were displayed on the rotating wheels and it was mainly developed for accounting purposes. We can handle only 5-digit numbers in earlier calculating device, but later versions it is able to handle 6 and 8-digit numbers as well. And next one is difference engine. Difference engine were developed by Charles Babbage in 1822. It was designed to do mathematical operations automatically. And the last early calculating device is called analytical engine. It was also developed by Charles Babbage in 1837. It was a new kind of mechanical computer that could be solve complex calculations including multiplication and division. The basic parts of the analytical engine resembled the components of the simple calculator system. It has 5 units: input, output, store, mill and control. Our next topic is generations of computers. There are 5 generations of computers. The first one is called first generation computers, and in the case of first generation computers they used vacuum tubes, and also it has used punched cards for the input and output of data, and it calculated data in milliseconds. It was very large in size but had small storage capacity. In the case of first generation computers, they were very slow in speed and they consume a large amount of energy. When we move to the second generation computers, they used transistors instead of vacuum tubes, and also they were very smaller in size than the first generation computers. And the second generation computers used punched cards and magnetic tapes for input and output of data. They were faster, cheaper and more efficient than the first generation of computers. The third generation computers used integrated circuits in the place of transistors. It is also known as IC chip. They used keyboard for input of data and monitor for the output of data. They were very smaller, faster, cheaper and more efficient than the first generation and second generation computers. And the next one is called fourth generation computers, and it's from 1971 to the present generation. And the fourth generation computers are more powerful and reliable than the previous generation computers, and they use microprocessors. Microprocessors are very large scale integrated circuits. They use keyboard, mouse, scanner and so on for the input of data, and also monitor, printer, speakers and so on for the output of data. And they have high storage capacity. And the fourth generation computers were very smaller, faster and cheapest among all the generations. And the last generation of computers are known as fifth generation computers. They use the super large scale integrated chips. The artificial intelligence is a technology that enables a computer to think like humans and perform like humans. It has the ability to recognize the image and voice, and also the ability to solve complex problems including the decision making and the logical reasoning. So these are the 5 generations of computers. And our next topic is types of computers. There are 4 types of computers like supercomputers, mainframe computers and mini computers. First one is supercomputers. Supercomputers have the best processing speed and are also very most expensive computers. They are considered to be the most powerful computers. It can be used in the case of nuclear energy researchers, earthquake studies and space researchers. And our second type of computer is called mainframe computers. Mainframe computers can also process the data at very high speed and they are also quite expensive. It can be used by more than 100 users at the same time. And the third one is called mini computers. Mini computers are less advanced as compared to the mainframe computers in the terms of speed and storage capacity. They are also less expensive than the mainframe computers and they can be used by small business and firms. The last type of computers are called microcomputers. The microcomputers are very small in size and less expensive. They are also called personal computers as they are designed for personal use. Microcomputers are specially designed for general uses like entertainment, education and office work. Okay. Now let's check what are the advantages or characteristics of a computer and also the limitations of the computer. First, let's check what are the different characteristics of a computer. The first one is accuracy, speed, diligence, high storage, versatility and multitasking. When we move to the limitations of computer, it does not work on its own but require a set of instructions. And the second one, it needs to be instructed by each and every step it has to be performed. The Windows 7 operating system support new themes, desktop backgrounds and screensavers. And also it has a new start button and start menu. It provides a feature known as jump list that lets you view the recently opened files when you right click on the program icon on the taskbar. And also the Windows 7 supports Gadget which provide information and are very fun to use. And the Windows 7 has a show desktop button on the taskbar that minimizes all opened windows and displays the desktop. And the next two features are sticky notes and shake windows. The sticky notes let you put reminder notes on the monitor and also the shake window feature quickly minimize all opened window except the one you shake. When we save our work in any program such as Paint or MS Word, a file is created. It can be saved on the hard disk or any storage device. When you save a file, you need to give the name of it. So a file name consists of two parts. One is the name of the file and second one is the extension. And there also one thing called the folder. Folder is a place that stores the files and other folders. So do you know how to manage the files and folders? Before that, we have to know what is Windows Explorer. Windows Explorer is a program that lets you manage files and folders on our computer. So, what are the steps for opening Windows Explorer is, we have to click on the Start button, go to All Programs, click on the Accessories option and select Windows Explorer. So, the Windows Explorer will be available on the Accessories. And we can create new files. It is possible to create new folders by using the Windows Explorer. When we click our mouse right button on the Windows Explorer screen, there will be one list available. So there we can see an option called New. When we click on the New option, we can create new folders and also new files. It is also possible to rename a file or folder. For that, first we need to select the file or folder by clicking on it and click on the Organize on the toolbar. Then we have an option there called Rename. We just want to click on the option Rename and change our name. Okay, and also it is possible to delete a file or folder from the same option called Organize on the toolbar. Okay, so if we have deleted something from the Windows Explorer, it will be moved to the recycle bin. So it is possible to restore the deleted files or folders from the recycle bin by using the option called Restore. We can copy and move some files and folders from the Windows Explorer to other location by using the option called Copy and Cut. And also it is possible to select multiple files or folders. To select adjacent files or folders, we have to click on the first file or folder, then press on the Shift key. Suppose we need to select non-adjacent files or folders, we have to click on the first file or folder, then press and hold the Control key. We can also change the view of the files and folders. These views change the preview of all files and folders available in the Windows Explorer. We have to click on the drop down arrow on the Change Your View button on the toolbar and choose the type of view. And we can group the files and folders. Grouping arranges the files and folders into different sections. It will be depend upon the type of grouping you need. And the last feature is called libraries. Windows 7 has a new feature called libraries. Libraries help you to manage the files in a better way. Libraries is a collection of files and folders. These files and folders can be located in different drives and locations on the computer. And the libraries are documents, music, pictures and videos. These all are called default libraries.